Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This applies perfectly to the so-called nice guys who believe they are losing in the dating world simply because they are kind. They imagine that women are rejecting them for being decent, when in reality, they are turning women off with weak, approval-seeking behavior. Women are not repelled by kindness, they are repelled by insecurity disguised as virtue. The Stoics mastered human psychology long before modern dating existed. They understood that a man's value is not in his words, but in his actions and his presence. If you speak in a way that signals low value, women will sense it immediately. No matter how good your intentions are, certain phrases expose neediness, weakness, and a lack of confidence, and they kill attraction instantly. In this video, you will discover the 7 things nice guys say that make women cringe. Watch until the end to avoid these mistakes, and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you've ever fallen into these traps yourself. Chapter 1. Acting entitled because you're nice. A man who believes he deserves something simply because he is nice is no different from a child throwing a tantrum for not getting a toy. Women do not owe you their time, attention, or affection just because you treat them well. And yet, many so-called nice guys fall into this mindset, expressing their frustration with phrases like, "Why do women always go for jerks?" or "I would never treat her that way." They say these things as if their goodness has been unfairly overlooked, as if women are making irrational choices by not rewarding them with affection. But this mindset does not reveal kindness, it reveals bitterness. And bitterness is never attractive. The Stoics taught that the world owes you nothing. It is a fundamental principle of life. What you receive is not determined by what you think you deserve, but by the value you bring. The moment you believe you are entitled to a woman's affection because of your kindness, you expose your weakness. You reveal that your kindness is not genuine, it is a strategy, a tool used to extract something in return. This is not strength. This is not confidence. It is insecurity masquerading as virtue. A real man does not waste his time complaining about the choices other people make. He does not dwell on why a woman chose someone else over him. Instead, he focuses on himself. He works to become stronger, sharper, more self-assured, and more desirable. He understands that attraction is not something you demand, it is something you inspire. When you carry yourself with self-respect, with an unshakable sense of value, the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. Nice guys who act entitled often believe they are playing by the rules of romance, but in reality, they are treating kindness like a currency. They believe that if they are patient, respectful, and generous enough, a woman will eventually pay them back with attraction. But attraction does not work this way. Women sense when kindness is transactional, and it repels them. No one wants to be the prize in someone else's unspoken bargain. No one wants to feel as if they are being manipulated into affection. A man who operates from a place of true confidence does not keep score. He does not extend kindness with the expectation of something in return. He gives respect because it aligns with his character, not because he hopes it will buy him something. This is the difference between strength and weakness. Weak men see kindness as a bargaining chip. Strong men see kindness as a reflection of their internal stability. The moment you stop treating your good behavior as a strategy and start embodying genuine self-respect, you will notice a shift. Women will respond to you differently. They will see you not as someone trying to prove his worth, but as someone who already knows his worth. And a man who knows his worth never has to demand respect, he commands it simply by being who he is. Chapter 2. Agreeing with everything she says. A man without opinions is a man without substance. Women are not drawn to men who simply mirror their thoughts, who agree with everything they say, who avoid any form of challenge. They crave depth, confidence, and the ability to engage in meaningful conversation. But nice guys fear conflict more than anything. They are so terrified of upsetting a woman that they strip themselves of all individuality, nodding along like a spectator rather than an active participant. When a woman asks for his thoughts on something, the nice guy's response is predictable: whatever you want. If she talks about her favorite movie, he suddenly claims it's his favorite too. If she expresses a strong opinion, he echoes it without hesitation. He is not being agreeable, he is being invisible. And invisibility is the quickest way to kill attraction. Women test men constantly, even if they are not fully conscious of it. They push boundaries. They express strong opinions to see how a man reacts. And when they encounter a man who never pushes back, never challenges them, never shows an independent thought, they lose interest. They may appreciate his compliance for a time, but deep down, they see it for what it is: fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of standing out. And fear is never attractive. A Stoic man does not fear disagreement. He does not seek arguments for the sake of arguments, but he understands that relationships, like life itself, require friction to create depth. He knows that true connection is not built through blind agreement, but through mutual challenge and respect. When a woman expresses an opinion, he listens. But he also thinks for himself. He does not rush to agree just to keep the peace. He respects his own mind, his own beliefs, and he is not afraid to express them. There is a reason why women are drawn to men with strong convictions. Confidence is magnetic. A man who can hold his ground, who can respectfully disagree, who can express his own perspective without seeking validation, this is a man who commands respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, desire fades. But nice guys misunderstand this dynamic entirely. They believe that the way to a woman's heart is through submission. They think that by always agreeing, by always being easygoing, by always accommodating her preferences, they will be liked. What they fail to realize is that attraction is not about being liked, it is about being respected. A woman may enjoy the comfort of a man who always agrees, but she will never feel passion for him. Think of the men that women admire. They are not the ones who always say yes. They are the ones who have the courage to say no when it matters. They are the ones who can disagree without losing their temper, who can hold a debate without getting emotional, who can make a woman question her own beliefs, not because they are trying to dominate her, but because they are unshaken by her opinions. This is not about being argumentative. It is not about forcing conflict or creating tension just for the sake of it. It is about having the strength to be yourself, even when that means going against the current. A man who agrees with everything a woman says is not being kind, he is being weak. And weakness, whether physical, emotional, or intellectual, is the fastest way to lose a woman's interest. Women do not want a yes man. They want a leader. They want someone they can trust, someone whose words have weight, someone who does not fold under pressure. A woman may test you by throwing out controversial opinions just to see how you respond. If you agree without thinking, you fail the test. If you hesitate to express your true thoughts, you fail the test. But if you hold your ground, if you articulate your thoughts with confidence, if you show that you are unshaken, she will notice. A Stoic man does not chase approval. He does not sacrifice his integrity just to keep a woman comfortable. He understands that true attraction is not about always agreeing, it is about standing firm in who you are. He listens, he considers, but he does not change his mind just to fit into someone else's world. He expects respect, and in turn, he earns it. If you always agree with a woman, she may enjoy the convenience of it at first. But over time, she will lose respect for you. And when respect is gone, attraction follows. If you never challenge her, she will grow bored. If you never express an opinion, she will begin to see you as replaceable. Do not fear disagreement. Do not be afraid to have an opinion. If a woman says she loves something and you do not, tell her. If she suggests something that you do not agree with, express your stance. This does not mean being rude. It does not mean being combative. It means being honest. And honesty, when backed by strength, is far more attractive than blind agreement. A man who respects himself will always be respected by others. A man who values his own thoughts will never have to chase validation. A man who stands firm in his beliefs will never have to beg for attention. And a man who is unafraid to disagree will always be more attractive than one who simply nods along in silence. Chapter 3. Overloading her with compliments. A genuine compliment has the power to spark attraction. It can make a woman feel seen, appreciated, and valued. But when a man showers a woman with endless praise, telling her how stunning she is, how perfect she looks, how lucky he is to even be in her presence, he does not come across as confident or romantic. He comes across as desperate. The issue is not kindness. The issue is excess. Compliments, when used sparingly and sincerely, can enhance attraction. But when they are overused, they become meaningless. A woman who hears non-stop flattery begins to tune it out. She no longer believes the words because they come too easily, too frequently, without any real thought or substance behind them. Instead of feeling special, she starts to feel like the man in front of her is simply trying to win her approval, like he is grasping for her validation rather than offering his own authentic appreciation. Overloading a woman with compliments does not make her see you as high value. It makes you seem like a man who is trying too hard, a man who is desperate for her attention, a man who has nothing else to offer beyond his admiration. A woman who senses this will instinctively pull away. Why? Because attraction is not built on neediness. It is built on intrigue, on depth, on respect. A woman does not want a man who idolizes her without reason. She wants a man who notices the small things, who truly pays attention, who sees beyond her appearance and appreciates her for something deeper. A Stoic man does not use compliments as currency. He does not dish them out in hopes of gaining favor. He does not throw flattery around like a man begging for scraps of affection. Instead, he speaks with purpose. When he gives a compliment, it holds weight because it is not something he does mindlessly. It is not a reflex. It is a conscious choice. And because of this, his words have power. Women are drawn to men who have standards, men who do not worship them simply because they are beautiful, but who admire them for reasons that go beyond the surface. A woman may enjoy hearing how attractive she is, but if that is all a man can offer, she will soon grow tired of him. She will begin to wonder, does he actually see me, or does he just see a pretty face? And once she starts questioning the authenticity of his interest, attraction starts to fade. Nice guys make the mistake of thinking that compliments will make a woman like them. That if they just praise her enough, she will reward them with attention, affection, or love. But real attraction does not work that way. Women respect men who do not need to prove themselves, who do not feel the need to constantly reassure them of their beauty, who hold themselves with quiet confidence. A man of true value does not hand out validation like candy. He does not build a woman's ego at the expense of his own dignity. He understands that attraction is not about proving his worth, it is about showing his strength. And a man who is secure in himself does not need to overcompensate with excessive praise. He lets his presence, his actions, and his unwavering sense of self do the talking. Chapter 4. Over-apologizing. Apologies should hold weight. They should be reserved for real mistakes, genuine wrongdoings that warrant acknowledgement. Yet, nice guys have a habit of apologizing for simply existing. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, I know you're busy. Sorry, I just thought I'd check in. These seemingly harmless phrases betray something deeper, an ingrained sense of insecurity and an unconscious need for validation. A man who constantly apologizes for things that require no apology is signaling that he does not believe he has the right to take up space. And when a man does not believe in his own worth, no woman will believe in it either. Apologizing excessively is not humility, it is self-sabotage. It places you in a position of inferiority, making you seem like someone who is constantly seeking permission to exist rather than standing firm in his own value. A Stoic man does not apologize for showing interest in a woman. He does not apologize for sending a message, for asking a question, for initiating a conversation. He does not treat his presence as an inconvenience. When a man apologizes too much, he is subtly asking for approval. He is telling a woman, "I know I'm not supposed to be here, but please don't reject me." And this energy is repellent. Attraction thrives on confidence. Women want men who take responsibility, not men who shrink themselves to avoid making the slightest misstep. There is nothing attractive about a man who seeks permission to be himself. Women do not desire men who constantly second-guess their words, their actions, or their very existence. They are drawn to men who own their space, who move through the world with quiet certainty, who understand that their value is not something they need to apologize for. Consider the way high-status men behave. Do they apologize for their presence? Do they preface their sentences with "sorry to interrupt" or "sorry, I don't want to be a bother"? No. They speak with assurance. They ask for what they want without hesitation. And because they carry themselves with conviction, others respond to them with respect. Over-apologizing creates an uneven dynamic in relationships. When a man apologizes too much, he places the woman in a position of power. She becomes the one who must grant him approval, who must reassure him that he is not doing anything wrong. This is exhausting. No woman wants to be responsible for constantly propping up a man's fragile sense of self-worth. The irony is that men who over-apologize believe they are being considerate. They think they are showing politeness, respect, or emotional intelligence. But in reality, they are projecting insecurity. Women do not hear these constant apologies as kindness, they hear them as weakness. And weakness does not inspire attraction. A Stoic man understands the difference between a necessary apology and an unnecessary one. When he makes a mistake, he owns it. He does not avoid responsibility, he does not shift blame, and he does not hesitate to admit when he is wrong. But he also does not dilute the power of an apology by using it excessively. When he apologizes, it means something. It is not a desperate attempt to smooth over an imagined slight, it is a sincere acknowledgement of a real misstep. If you catch yourself apologizing unnecessarily, stop. Ask yourself, have I actually done something wrong? Have I actually caused harm? Or am I just seeking reassurance? If your apology is not necessary, hold it back. Replace it with confidence. Instead of saying, "Sorry to bother you," say, "I wanted to ask you something." Instead of saying, "Sorry, I know you're busy," say, "I appreciate your time." These small shifts in language make a massive difference. Over-apologizing is not just a problem in dating, it is a problem in life. Men who apologize too much are often overlooked in their careers, taken advantage of in friendships, and dismissed in social interactions. They struggle to be taken seriously because they communicate, through their words and actions, that they do not see themselves as worthy of respect. The key to breaking this habit is understanding that confidence is not arrogance. It is not about being rude, dismissive, or refusing to apologize when it is warranted. It is about having enough self-respect to stand by your words and actions without seeking constant approval. It is about understanding that you do not need permission to exist, to take up space, to pursue what you want. A man who respects himself does not beg for acceptance. He does not apologize for his presence. He does not walk through life trying to minimize himself to make others comfortable. And because of that, he commands respect from the people around him, especially from women. Women are not drawn to men who ask for permission. They are drawn to men who lead, who take initiative, who move through the world without hesitation. When a man stops over-apologizing, he steps into his power. He stops placing women above him. He stops acting as if his attraction needs to be justified. He stops making excuses for his own desires. And when a man carries himself with that level of certainty, women take notice. They feel it. They respond to it. Because confidence, at its core, is not about being the loudest person in the room. It is not about arrogance or bravado. It is about knowing, deep in your bones, that you are enough. So stop apologizing for things that require no apology. Stop diminishing yourself in an attempt to be liked. Stop thinking that politeness means erasing your own presence. Instead, own who you are. Speak with certainty. Move with conviction. And watch how the world, and the women in it, start to treat you differently. Chapter 5. Putting yourself beneath her. Saying things like, "You're too good for me," or "I can't believe you're going out with me," may seem like harmless, even endearing comments. You may think they make you sound humble or appreciative, but in reality, they are the quickest way to kill attraction. These statements reveal something deep about your mindset. They tell a woman that you do not see yourself as her equal. And if you do not believe you are worthy of her, why should she? Attraction is not built on self-deprecation. Women do not admire men who grovel at their feet, who treat them like untouchable goddesses while diminishing their own value in the process. True attraction is built on mutual respect, admiration, and balance. When a man places a woman above himself, he creates an imbalance that can never lead to true desire. A Stoic man sees himself as an equal to any woman he desires. He does not beg for attention. He does not fawn over her in a way that diminishes his own worth. He does not act as if she is doing him a favor simply by being in his presence. Instead, he carries himself with quiet confidence, knowing that he brings value to any relationship he chooses to enter. The problem with putting a woman on a pedestal is that it makes her look down on you. Even if she does not consciously recognize it, she will feel that something is off. A woman does not want to be with a man who idolizes her. She wants to be with a man who excites her, challenges her, and makes her feel like she has earned his affection. When you treat a woman as if she is above you, she will eventually start to believe it. She will begin to see you as lesser, as someone who is lucky just to be in her presence. This does not inspire attraction. It inspires pity, or worse, indifference. And indifference is the death of desire. Think about how people react to those who lack confidence. When someone walks into a room apologizing for their existence, avoiding eye contact, and speaking in a way that suggests they are afraid to take up space, do others respect them? Do they admire them? Or do they simply ignore them? The same principle applies to attraction. A man who acts as if he is unworthy will be treated as unworthy. Women are drawn to men who carry themselves with certainty. A man who respects himself, who knows his own value, who does not need external validation to feel whole, this is the kind of man who naturally attracts women. He does not need to say, "I can't believe you're with me," because he already knows why she is. He does not doubt his worth, and because of that, she does not either. Another problem with putting yourself beneath a woman is that it creates an unhealthy dynamic. Relationships should be based on mutual effort, mutual appreciation, and mutual value. If one person feels like they are constantly trying to earn the other's love, the balance is destroyed. The woman becomes the prize, and the man becomes the chaser. And the moment a man is chasing instead of leading, the attraction begins to fade. A Stoic man does not chase. He does not position himself as less than. He does not treat a woman as if she is some kind of divine being who has graced him with her presence. He understands that a relationship is a two-way street. Both partners must bring something of value to the table. If he does not see himself as valuable, why should she? Women are not attracted to weakness. They do not want a man who needs constant reassurance, who doubts himself, who acts as if he is lucky just to be acknowledged. They want a man who stands firm, who owns his presence, who moves through life with the certainty that he belongs. When a man has that level of self-respect, he never needs to say, "You're too good for me," because he already knows that the only women in his life are the ones who are worthy of him. If you have ever caught yourself saying something like this, stop immediately. Pay attention to your mindset. Do you genuinely believe you are beneath the woman you are interested in? If so, why? What makes you think she is better than you? If it is because of her looks, her confidence, her charm, why do you assume you do not possess qualities that are just as valuable? Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about thinking you are better than others. It is about knowing your worth and refusing to place yourself below anyone else. A Stoic man does not compare himself to others, he focuses on being the best version of himself. And when he meets a woman, he does not ask himself if he is good enough for her. He asks if she is good enough for him. The next time you are tempted to say something self-deprecating in an attempt to win a woman's favor, stop. Catch yourself. Recognize that this impulse is coming from a place of insecurity, and understand that insecurity is not attractive. Instead of putting yourself beneath her, stand beside her. Meet her as an equal, not as a supplicant. Show her that you respect yourself enough to demand the same level of respect in return. Because when a man respects himself, the world, and the women in it, will follow. Chapter 6. Overinvesting too soon. Nice guys make one of the most common yet most destructive mistakes in dating. They overinvest too soon. They meet a woman, feel a spark, and suddenly she becomes the center of their world. They flood her with attention, send endless messages, and act as if they are already in a committed relationship, when in reality, she has done nothing to earn that level of devotion. This is suffocating. It does not create attraction, it kills it. Instead of letting the relationship unfold naturally, these men attempt to force closeness before it has even had a chance to develop. They think that by proving their dedication, they will make her see their worth. But in reality, what they're doing is signaling desperation. And nothing is more unattractive than a man who does not understand his own value. A Stoic man knows better. He understands that relationships must be built on a solid foundation of mutual interest and respect. He does not chase. He does not flood a woman with texts or rearrange his life for someone who has not yet proven she is worth the effort. He invests wisely and waits for reciprocation. He does not give more than what is being returned. When a man overinvests, he makes a critical mistake. He removes the element of mystery. Attraction thrives in space, in anticipation, in the slow unfolding of emotions. Women do not fall for men who overwhelm them with attention. They fall for men who allow them to wonder, to question, to feel the excitement of uncertainty. A man who is too available, too eager, too desperate to please is a man who eliminates any chance of true chemistry. Think of it like this: when you are handed something too easily, do you value it? Do you crave it? Or does it lose its appeal because there was no challenge in obtaining it? Human nature craves what is uncertain, what is slightly out of reach. The men who truly captivate women are not the ones who give everything up front. They are the ones who create an experience, an emotional journey, a feeling of curiosity and longing. The nice guy, however, does the opposite. He removes all mystery. He lays everything out immediately. He texts her good morning and good night before she has even shown genuine interest. He showers her with compliments before she has done anything to earn them. He prioritizes her above all else, even though she has not yet demonstrated that she is worthy of being a priority. This backfires. Instead of making her feel special, it makes her feel burdened. She senses the weight of his expectations, and instead of drawing her in, it pushes her away. Women do not want to feel as if they are someone's only source of happiness. They do not want to feel responsible for validating a man's self-worth. When a man overinvests too soon, it creates an imbalance, one where she holds all the power, and he is simply waiting for her approval. A Stoic man refuses to put himself in this position. He is patient. He allows things to unfold naturally. He is not in a rush to claim a woman's attention because he knows his value does not diminish with time. In fact, it increases. The longer he holds back, the more she wonders about him. The less he overinvests, the more she begins to chase him. Overinvesting too soon is an act of insecurity. It reveals a fear that if he does not give everything right away, she will lose interest. But the truth is the opposite. Women lose interest when a man makes himself too easy to obtain. The man who moves slowly, who allows her to earn his attention, who does not rush into emotional intimacy, this is the man who holds true power. Instead of smothering a woman with affection, a Stoic man creates space. He is not always available. He does not drop everything for someone he barely knows. He does not place a woman on a pedestal before she has proven herself worthy of being there. He lets her miss him. He lets her wonder. He lets the anticipation build. And in doing so, he maintains the most important element of attraction, mystery. When you overinvest too soon, you strip a relationship of its excitement. You make it predictable. And predictability is the death of passion. The men who truly capture a woman's heart are not the ones who give everything immediately. They are the ones who know how to pace the connection, how to balance attention with absence, how to make her crave more instead of giving her everything at once. A man who values himself does not rush. He does not beg for attention. He does not flood a woman with messages in hopes that she will recognize his worth. He already knows his worth, and because of that, he lets her come to him. Patience is power. Control is power. The man who understands this will never need to overinvest because he will always be the one who is truly desired. Chapter 7. Claiming I'm not like other guys. When a man tells a woman, I'm not like most guys, he thinks he is setting himself apart. He believes he is reassuring her, making her see him as special, unique, and safe. But in reality, he is doing the exact opposite. He is blending into the crowd of every other man who has ever tried to convince a woman of his worth instead of demonstrating it. A woman hears this phrase more times than you can imagine. Every man who lacks true confidence and presence resorts to these words, hoping they will be the magic key to unlocking her trust and attraction. But women are not looking for words. They are looking for proof. They do not want a man who tells them he is different. They want a man who is different. And a man who is truly unique never has to say it. Think about it. When was the last time you heard a strong, grounded, self-assured man say, I'm not like other guys? You haven't. Because men who are genuinely confident do not need to sell themselves with words. Their actions, their demeanor, and their presence do all the talking. They do not try to separate themselves from the pack by making comparisons. They simply live by their own standards, and that alone is enough to make them stand out. The very act of saying, I'm not like most guys, suggests insecurity. It signals that you are aware of how women perceive men in general, and instead of naturally showing her that you are different, you are pleading for her to believe it. This comes across as needy and performative, and women instinctively feel that something is off. The more you try to convince her with words, the less she trusts it. The Stoics understood that a man's value is demonstrated through his actions, not his claims. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." In other words, true character is revealed through life's tests, through the way a man handles himself under pressure, through the way he moves through the world without needing external validation. A strong man does not concern himself with what other men are doing. He focuses entirely on his own growth, his own principles, and his own mastery of life. When a woman meets a man like this, she can feel it. He does not try to prove his worth. He does not try to distance himself from other guys because he is too busy being his own man. His presence alone tells her that he is different. His calmness, his decisiveness, his control over his emotions, all of it signals something rare, something valuable. Compare this to the nice guy who says, "I'm not like most guys." He is seeking approval. He wants her to validate him. But by trying so hard to separate himself from others, he actually makes himself just another face in the crowd. Women hear this line constantly, and every time they do, it sounds the same. Empty. Unconvincing. Instead of trying to convince a woman that you are different, focus on actually being different. Live by your principles. Have boundaries. Move with purpose. Speak with conviction. Treat women with respect, but never place them on a pedestal. Lead with strength, not with words. When you carry yourself like this, you will never have to say, "I'm not like other guys," because women will already know it. A man who is truly unique, truly rare, does not seek recognition. He does not need a woman to validate his individuality. He is simply himself, and that alone makes him stand out. The moment you stop trying to prove that you are different and start living with purpose, confidence, and authenticity, you will separate yourself from every other man who is still desperately trying to convince her with words. Women are not looking for a man who claims to be different. They are looking for a man who is different. And the men who genuinely stand out are the ones who do not feel the need to prove it. The words you speak reveal everything about you. If you sound insecure, needy, or approval-seeking, women will feel it instantly. A Stoic man understands that attraction is not won with words, it is earned through presence, confidence, and self-respect. Drop these phrases from your vocabulary. Speak with strength. And watch how women respond to you differently. Like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments. Which of these mistakes have you caught yourself making? Let's talk.